Okay, so this is where the sweater is at. This is where we had left off. Home from work, so I'm gonna try and get a few more rows done, just keep chipping away at the sweater. Something I realized I hadn't talked about yet, but that I think is really cool about this pattern is she kind of tells you, like, okay, now that you're at this point, you should have this many stitches, like, on your needles. Okay, at this point, you should have this many stitches here, this many stitches there. Which is good because after my, like, collar shaping section, so that, like, the front of the collar, which is here, will, like, when you go to wear it, this will set lower, so that's just, like, a more comfortable fit. It won't feel like this is choking you or anything. I, like, counted some stitches weird doing my German short rows or something, and I just ended up with more stitches on my needles than I should have had, because it kind of tells you, like, once you're done with the yoke, like, this is how many stitches you should have total, like, these are how many you should have for, like, your sleeve sections, and this is how many for, like, the body, and you just kind of do some math, you know how much you're going to be adding for each repetition, and that kind of let me figure out, like, oh, I am on track to have 12 too many stitches. So I was like, okay, I can either, like, slowly get rid of these 12 stitches or, like, cut out one of my rows and then just end up with a few too many. So what I ended up doing is I'm slowly, like, every even row, I'm just decreasing by a stitch. And that, by the end, is going to get me to the number of stitches I need where I need it. Every so many rotations through, like, so many repeats through, I'm double checking the math, like, okay, this is where I'm at now, this is how many I need to get rid of, and, like, you have stitch markers, so, like, between here and here is where, like, I'm gonna end up having, like, the tie off for a sleeve. So it's like, okay, when you get done with the yoke, you're gonna have this many stitches for your sleeve, and that has been on track for me. That's been good. But it's just something that I can double check, keep an eye on, so if I make any mistakes or count something weird, or if I accidentally miss an addition for my little raglan increases, then it kind of helps me figure that out quickly, and I'm not going to find myself done with the yoke and, like, be all messed up on my number of stitches and have to, like, go back and frog a bunch of stuff. So that's, I don't know, I guess beginning knitter tip from one beginning knitter to potentially another is, if your pattern is as lovely as this step-by-step one by Florence, it kind of tells you where you should expect to be at the end of each process, like stitch number wise. Just do a little math, count your stitches, and make sure you're on the right track, because that would have been real sad to get done with the yoke and find that I was severely off course. All right, like 2 hours and 40 minutes later, I was able to get 3 more sets of repeats done. So I'm now getting started on repeat 16 out of 24. We're just going to keep chipping away as the weekend goes.